Oh, battery. Oh. Sorry, y'all. This is on my charger all night. Hold on. I'm gonna have to go upstairs and get the charger for it and plug it in so it don't down me. Hold on, beautiful people. Hold on, y'all. Let's plug this thing in out here. Yes. Oh, man. Oh. Boom. I think. It's gonna drain my laptop. Okay. All right, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. Let the kids use the iPad last night, but when they put it back on the charger, the cord wasn't pushed all the way in. So I hope that jank don't down me this morning. I'm not sure how fast it's gonna charge with it being plugged in like that into the laptop. It should charge fast, but I hope it don't kill my time on my laptop. All right, y'all. Happy New Gregorian Year. I gotta break out my other planner. Oh. All right, beautiful people. Last day in this book. Nope, that's right. Oh. Oh, okay. All right, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. It is January the 1st, 2023, day 303 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets. You know, I think I might change books of the Law and the Prophets to books, laws, and prophets. Because we say when the book of the Law and Prophets is referring to Torah, right? But I think I'm going to still use the same thing. We just had to break it up a little bit because we've been bringing in different books, different laws, different prophets from all over the world with the truth still. And today we're going to read a little bit more of Celeste's letter that she sent to us. and we will probably get in a little bit of, let me get it. Field Guide to the Spirit World, right? Look, yesterday I went back to the series Evil, and I decided to pick it up a little bit. I'm glad I did, because I'm still in season 1, and it picked up with episode 6, and I watched like 3 of them last night, and it was good. The whole scariness bit wasn't even there when I picked it back up. George freaked me out a little bit until I demystified him and stuff, and especially when she realized she could control her dreams. George was just pissing her off, then like, move, get out the way, George. Every time he would show up. So I actually thought that was pretty hilarious. All right, y'all. So if we do pick back up in Field Guide to the Spirit World, it'll be in the Possession chapter on page 206, and Possession is chapter 9. Definitely need to go and get my book today. Okay, let's put this here. Father, we thank you for sharing your glow with us. All right, beautiful people. Everybody here, Facebook and YouTube. Let me go back to the top. Jamia, shalom, shalom. Set apart Ema, shalom, sis. Dawn, peace, love, light. Vinette, shalom, sis. Elijah, peace and blessings. Yes, may the Creator Yahweh be with us all. Shebrew, all praises to the Creator. Kendra, shalom, sis. Auntie, Belinda Brown, family. Hannah, peace and blessings. Animalistic nature. Mom, shalom, shalom. Ray, hi. Avia, shalom, shalom. And everybody else here already hanging out in the background of Facebook and YouTube. Top of the day to you. All right, beautiful people. So let's pick this back up. Put this charge on the back of this. Yep. Let me make sure all the pages close, because it's only on 9%. Okay. Whew. All right, y'all. Look. When I tell y'all this book, The Truth, let me tell you what happened day before yesterday, before we went into the Sabbath. Shortly after I got offline with y'all the other day when I told y'all about this, right? Ugh, Chloe, have mercy. So I went up there. It was probably like, what time my sister called me? She was on the road. I want to say it was almost noon. If that, maybe still like in a 10 o'clock hour or something like that, right? So I was sitting up at my desk and I was checking over some things, about to pick this back up and look at something, right? Now, mind you, when I started reading this a little while ago, I would put it down to pick it up, put it down to pick it up. And then once I got into a wild speed, it just kind of engrossed a lot of my study time. And so I had put this down. But the other day, when it came back to my memory, I was like, yo, yeah, that's right. Right. So after we got offline, I read a little bit more of it. And I'm like, yo, this is interesting. This is more. And mind you, I didn't notice this the first time. This talks a lot about the vortexes within a body, right? Listen, so remember during the first reading when we kind of talked about the vortex a little bit, and the vortexian currents, and how different things full of life give off a higher vibrational vortex like fruit. And I think it was my son or my granddaughter had came in here, and they wanted something to eat. I said, take some of this good vortexian energy from this fruit and add that to your body, right? All of that. I was like, from what I was understanding as I was reading through Owaspy, and I was learning about the vortex of the earth, I began to recognize some things, and I began to line it up with the vortexes in the body, which the Eastern world calls it chakras, which is like the wheel of energy. Here, the medical terms in America and probably other places too. They call it the endocrine system, right? So I had already studied that stuff, and I was familiar with that, but I hadn't connected the pieces yet. I was like, oh snap. I said, so these essentially within our body are vortexes as well. The energy that goes around and they flow in a certain manner. When the flow gets disrupted because of something that we've done to harm our body that's not conducive to our growth or our health, it messes up the way the energy flows, right? And your vortexing energies within your body, kundalini, yes, is another word. It throws it off, right? And so I was like, oh man, I was like, so we are a vortex. There's a vortex that surrounds our body. There's multiple vortexes within the body, and it's guided by the bigger vortex of the earth, and everything living has a vortex, trees, all of these things, and a vortex that guides the rotation and the movement of the earth, right? In conjunction with the solar system and all those vortexes, right? I was like, yo, this is amazing. But what was even more amazing is when I went back to this book. Okay, so I skimmed through it. When I picked it back up, I had already read through quite a few chapters in here, but and I remembered just bits and pieces. So I was like, well, let me finish what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna come back to that. So I set it on my desk, right? My desk in my bedroom. Here's something freaky that happened. I set it on my desk. In the middle of the desk, I have one of these adjustable height desks. And there's no slant. Anybody that has a regular desk, it's not like an art desk or anything that has a slant. It's a flat desk. And I went up there and I set it in the middle of my desk. I said, I'm going to get back to you in a minute, right? I was like, but I got to get this done, right? So as I was sitting there working, I put my headphones on. I got my big headphones, and I was jamming out, right? So I was like, okay, finishing some of this. Go ahead and send this quote in right here. Next thing I knew, this book, from the middle of my desk, I hadn't bumped my desk. Nobody was in the room with me. The book flew off my desk onto the floor. When it hit the floor, it made this huge boom sound. I jumped up, darn near fell out the back of my chair, looked around the room, and took off running out, screaming, "Hey!" I said, look, and I'm screaming at my kids like, what are y'all doing in here? And they're all looking at me like, nothing. And I said, was somebody just running through the house? They said, yeah, Bella and Jace, but they was in her room running around. And I'm sitting here, okay, could the running in their room have shaken my room so much that it would have pulled my one book, like didn't shake any other papers, not even the stuff that was close to the edge of my desk? Would that have been enough force to take my book and slide it on the floor and make that huge boom sound the way that it did? Absolutely not. Yes. Your daddy let you get that? Okay, home. Go ahead. All right. Who am I to take it from you if your daddy gave it to you? Listen. So I'm like, look, and I'm looking at the kids doing this, trying to figure out some reason to blame them for what just happened. They sitting there on their switches and stuff. Boy, what in the world? You had a nosebleed? Both no. Go wash your face. No, both nostrils. You got it in that, but I see blood from here. What happened? You literally just woke up? Well, go wash your face. What? No, I'm literally about to use this. Go look in the mirror. Go in my bathroom. I'll think about it. Go look in the mirror. Hold on. So I'm trying to figure out, Mom, look, don't start with me and dead in the closet. Yes, it's still in there. I was talking to Aunt Nene the other day. But I'm working up the courage to ask this question because I don't know how she gonna act, especially with the stuff we just found out about. I'm just like, okay, just go in with it now, Pam. Just ask her about the darn box of ashes. I ain't sprung it on the just yet. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. So yes, listen, look, Vanette, I knew you would look. I thought it was you because both y'all names start with a V. I was about to say Vanette, then I realized it was my mama, Vanetta. We talking to my aunt. I'm just working up because, like I say, they kind of emotional, and I just, this is like the only thing left from like everybody. Like she's the only one still living. Everybody else that's alive come from her, but she is like the if I remember correctly. Well, no, I'm sorry. There is one older aunt that's still alive, but she rarely ever talked to her, so. But anyway, I'm working it up, I'm working it up. Maybe we'll come there and we'll just bury it on the land that we have there, right? So if she still want to feel close, but then again, I don't know, because we made it a graveyard and we don't want to play around with this stuff. Listen. So I'm trying to connect these two 6-year-olds, my daughter and my grandbaby, running. Bella's room is on the other side of the house. They don't weigh that much, right? So I'm just like, clearly there's an explanation for what just happened. And listen, if y'all got the book yet, listen, right? Even if it hit the floor. But the sound that it made hitting the carpet, it was, something else was happening. I don't know yet. But listen, when that did that, it was one or two things. And I was more inclined to think that I probably should open it up right now. At least that's what my feeling was when I worked up the guts to go back in my room, peep around the corner. Daddy, was that you? Quit playing now. Quit playing. Better get them back in that closet. Quit playing now. James, it was just me and the kids here. So I'm here acting crazy. Boy, if there was a recording, a camera recording 24/7 here at this house, I promise y'all, we could make a best-selling movie. With some of the craziness that happened in here and me looking around corners, talking to people, look, we ain't gonna get into that. But listen, I was trying to connect where Bella's room is positioned at based on the force that this flew off my desk and hit the floor and the sound that it made and a vibration that I hit. Clearly, if you're standing beside something, you're going to hear, boom, something hit the floor, But it would with the strength that it hit it, it is freaking me out, right? So came downstairs, got something to drink. I was about to make a smoothie. I was like, no, I'm going to just get some water. I got to stay clear. I got to stay clear-minded to drink some water. What in the world, Pam? What was that? The book was sitting in the middle of the desk. I'm running all this stuff through my head. This was literally the other day, y'all. The other day. Friday. Like, how could this have happened? I didn't move. I was literally sitting there typing this out when it just flew off the desk. What could have caused that to happen? Right? Look. And so I was like, once I realized, I'm like, okay, there's one or two things. I probably really need to pick it up. There's something very important in there that I need to see like right now. Or the spirits is just playing with me, knowing I'm scary. My daddy just playing with me. Could have been him, could have been not. I don't know. My dad was my dad loves a good story, right? A good scary story at that, right? He's one of the greatest storytellers, right? I don't know. It could have been him. He probably got bored, right? Like, Pam, pick this up. I don't know. I don't know. Look, Shebra, I know. We read about the spirits all day, so you knew it wasn't the babies. Pam, I know that, Shebra. But I'm trying to remove every shadow of doubt that it could possibly have been maybe they bumped into a wall or something. But if they would have bumped into a wall, pictures would have fell, not my book from the middle of my desk flying on the floor. I'm just like, okay. All right, so I walk back in the room. I'm like, all right, listen, this is my house. Stop it. If y'all need to tell me something, just give it to me in a dream. Don't just manifest yourself here because I ain't ready for that yet. I'm too scary. Just give it to me in a dream and let me figure it out. But don't be doing crap like this. I'll pick up this book. Now, stop it now. I go pick up the book off the floor. And I'm like, okay. Ooh, so my bookmark was in here. And at first it was in the section, the 12th vortex, right? And this is talking about, this is the first one. No, it was the unseen. Clearly it was the unseen, right? The internal vortex within the body, right? I'm not sure if I gave y'all a picture of this because on YouTube, it only allows you to, per post in the community section, it only allows you to put 5 pictures in there, right? So I was going through this, and it's going through multiple vortexes, each one that's connected to something in the body, right? And it tells you how, like, with each vortex, how when it moves, how it affects the other vortexes, and the how it displays itself all over the body, right? So I'm like, okay, clearly. And as I flip through it, I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm seeing vortex everywhere, all over the book. When I picked it back up, like even when I flipped through it after I told you about it, the word vortex wasn't catching my eye. And clearly, when I was reading through it before, I saw it, but it just wasn't clicking with what I had read in a WASP yet, right? So after this whole rigmarole in my room, and I picked up the book and sat back down at my desk, like, and I opened up the book and I'm going through it. That's when vortex literally on every other page started like beaming out at me. I'm like, oh snap, oh snap, oh snap, oh snap. And so wait a minute, vortex is all the way through here. Now, you know, you got some people making videos when we talk about the vortex and the wasp. They be trying to clown it and stuff. And I'm like, okay, maybe they don't like the word vortex. Let's just use energy, right? Because literally it's the same thing. It's internal energies, unseen energies, right? That affect the body physically, where you can actually see physical results of what's happening in the unseen realm, right? So as I started flipping through here, I realized, and my eyes, what page was that? And this is the one that has multiple pages of this reading and the different formations and stuff all through the book that helps you activate different portions of your brain, right? It has you reading in different ways, up, down, left, right, and you just following this pattern for different ones. It's like I said, it's activating portions in the brain to activate more of your brain. But what I realized began to happen was, you know, okay, this is likened to that. You know how, say you purchase a new car, right? Say you purchase I don't know. Say you purchase an Escalade, right? And you start driving your Escalade, and then you start seeing Escalades all over the road, right? But that wasn't happening before until you yourself actually got one. Well, when that happens, there's something that happens in the brain. It's called the reticular activating system within the brain that brings your awareness to everything of like nature that you now acquired or that you now understand, right? And so that's what began to happen. So with this book, my reticular activating system had been alerted and had been awakened to some new things that since I put it away, I had learned, and now I could see it clearly all the way through here. I'm like, oh, snap. And so I started going through here, reading some of these vortexes, and as you go through it and you pay attention to the pattern, you'll realize that the vortexes they're giving you align with the chakras or the endocrine system within your body, right? It's a lot of I'll say scientific terms, medical terms, biology terms used in here. But what happened is that not only is it talking about the 7, because you have more than 7, right? Those are just the main 7 that everybody talk about, right? But even once you get to the crown chakra, as this begins to open up and it brightens like the third eye, then the crown, then there's a whole another level of different, you can name them chakras, or different points that go up out of your body and they extend around your body, right? Like aura. And it's like this energy that's constantly flowing in and out of your body, right? It's doing this type of thing. And it creates this bubble around you. Even when you're intimate with your spouse or whoever you're intimate with, these force fields or these energy fields come together and they merge and they do different things, right? Your energy field is going to do something different when you're engaged in acts of intimacy with somebody that you don't love, like one night stands, things like that. What you produce from that is going to be totally different from what you would produce with somebody that you're in love with, because it syncs up what can't happen there with one night stands and people that you have casual sex with can't happen on a level. The heart chakra never syncs up, and you can't go past that when you're having like one night stands or just these flings with multiple people. You can draw energy from them, but you can't make it past the heart chakra. Love literally unlocks the heart chakra and bring two people together, and it produces something different, and it literally can open up the third eye chakra, and you can pull down wisdom from heaven or from the ether, however you want to term it. That's why when married couples come together and they agree on things, especially if they both walk in purity and they understand, even more so if they understand spiritual principles and they know what happened when they come together, their prayers or their requests, so to speak, can happen literally just like that, because there is literally a science. There is something happening. These are literally just instruments. These bodies are literally just instruments for our spirits. And a lot of people just by default living. They don't even know that they are a spirit with a body. But anyway, if you haven't ordered this, it takes you on a whole, it takes you to let's say a whole nother level. Learning about chakras and stuff, especially if you already been in the habit of studying it and meditating it. The bringing in the vortex and the energy, it just gives you a different aspect of what's happening. Like you get a different vantage point from reading it from here. And all the other stuff that I've read so far is good, but it seems like it takes you on a higher vantage point. And then remember the comment I made when I posted this, I think it was the second one I made, where I said, I'm almost certain, even though the man never said the word oaspi in this book at any time throughout here, I'm almost certain he's read it, or he's so spiritually developed with those principles that we learn in here, he's already picked up. Right? Because he even began to talk about beings who, I shared it with y'all, and I wrote on the side of it, false gods. This is what Owaspy is talking about. It's talking about those entities, and I didn't mark the page, but I got it all highlighted up. Hold on. The seat of the mind, the alpha state. No, where is it? Oh, I think it's like page 49. Hold on. Remember my page numbers. Yeah, 39. I'm sorry. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna read this little portion to you real quick. And when I read this, I'm like, I'm not gonna go. It's under, if you go to the one that I posted yesterday in the picture where you see species, it's that, and it's page 39 of this, right? Let me read this to you. When I read, I'm like, clearly, Owaspi talks about that. Those are the false gods. Listen to this. It's talking about the beings that you get information from that's helping you, how you can tell what level in the unseen world they really are. We learn from Owaspi that false gods, anybody under the control, slavery of the false gods, they can only give you so much information. They can't give you any more information. Their ceiling is atmosphere or hotter. They don't know anything higher. So all the wisdom that they give you is coming from this, hell or hotter, and below, right? Listen to this. And they said the beings that are higher, they've elevated higher. The wisdom is pure. They're in line with the source of, hold on, I'm gonna call it the source of radiant essence, right? Is what they call creating here. The source of radiant essence. Listen to this. Hold on. Oh, I probably do need to go to the top because, okay, listen to this. Species. There are a significant amount of inhabited planets in this galaxy that are relatively close to Earth. These planets have ultra-photonic light beings as well as natural and unnatural atomic molecular material beings. Planets around Polaris are inhabited by astral entities of reflected light. They are like the moon. They do not have their own light. These beings, though invisible, have the power to holographically materialize within the third dimension, where they take on angelic forms that mesmerize the human eye. They are responsible for balancing terrestrial electrodynamics and magnetic frequencies. On some occasions, they have guided the human race through evolutionary processes, but things have changed in the present. And here you go, listen to this. Although many of them were biblical, Vedanic, Mayan, or Aztec beings, amongst others, they are not highly evolved beings, right? We know that the gods, they are not that highly evolved, right? They are not highly evolved beings. In the midst of their great authority, many were flooded by darkness. They commanded humanity to call them gods and ruled and dominated men. They became accustomed to being worshipped. To keep humanity subdued, they instilled fear and anger in their hearts. In this way, they have been slaving humankind from time immemorial. That's Owaspi talk, right? It's the same stuff we learn about in Owaspi. That's why I'm like, y'all got to get this. Y'all got to get this book. I'm almost certain. Listen, this book, hold on, let me save that spot right there. This book was written, I'm sitting here thinking about from the time it was downloaded back in the early 1800s, right? This copyright is by Matthias Fleury, 2014. So I'm wondering, like all the pieces that have been broken up and scattered to different places of Owaspi, things that we know that are missing here, I'm wondering if in his studies in life, where he's traveled, if he's come across pieces of this under a different name and studied its principles and stuff, and still getting some of the stuff that we're getting, like from what Owaspi is revealing to us, right? So all of this stuff was hitting my mind when I picked it up, and I'm like, okay, maybe I really needed to read. This is why I flew off the desk, like, pick this up now, Pamela. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And so what I did after I did all that, I screenshot that, I got to share this, and then I started it over, right? I literally started this book all over the other day just to make sure, okay, let me refresh myself on what I done missed or what I wasn't paying attention to, because this could be a part of the missing pieces of this puzzle, with us looking in our research and stuff. Listen. They commanded humanity to call them gods and ruled and dominated men. They became accustomed to being worshipped. To keep humanity subdued, they instilled fear and anger in their hearts. In this way, they have been enslaving humankind from time immemorial. Many humans have escaped the subterranean darkness and planted on Earth and hid But the slavery imposed by the shadow is like an appalling disease that spreads slowly to every corner and strangles the heart of even the saintliest. These beings appear to have light. Nevertheless, listen to this, and this is something we learned too, but nevertheless, they can be recognized by their anger and preference for skin color and sex. And we see that all through the Torah, right? All through the Old Testament, right? The angry God, the preference for people, certain types of people, choosing out Israel alone, right? And oh my gosh, I'm like, and I just paused. I'm like, what you just say?
I need a problem here.
Go tell her daddy. Yeah, go. Wake him up. It's time for her to be potty trained. She pulling her pamper off. Listen. Hold on. Listen to this. These beings appear to have light. Nevertheless, they can be recognized by their anger and preference for skin color and sex. They are responsible for implanting the programs of racism and sexism in the collective human mind. Listen to this. They may offer help in critical moments, and sometimes it seems like they fight darkness. But their help is useless because they can only access the three-dimensional astral plane. They can only combat entities in the lower dimensions, and with the use of the nebulous power, the darkness, what we learned about here.
Elijah's not waking up.
Hold that thought, y'all. Did she poop? Oh my God! Elijah! Wait, she put that on, she poop. Another one. Yeah, take that. Yeah. Yeah, go. You need to backtrack where she done walked.
Did she poop up here?
These kids, listen. Hold on. I'm gonna read y'all comments in a second. Hold on. They may offer help in critical moments, and sometimes it seems like they fight darkness, but their help is useless because they can only access the three-dimensional astral plane. Remember, they can't go any higher than hotter, right? If they telling people that we are the highest God, you worship us, ain't nothing above me, they can only access this level and below. All right, none of the higher lights from the second heaven, third heaven, definitely ain't getting any kind of inspiration from true God or the Orion Chiefs or anybody up in those levels, Nirvana, none of that. Listen, they may offer help in critical moments, and sometimes it seems like they fight darkness, but their help is useless because they can only access the three-dimensional astral plane. They can only combat entities in the lower dimensions, and with the use of the nebulous power, they combat darkness with darkness, and this only creates more of it. Listen, if you were to encounter one of them, realize that their help is merely astral and material, and there will always be a price to pay, right? We learned about that, right? You asking them for their help and stuff, they gon' willingly be your slave here. But when you transition, you become their slave for a period of time. It's time for you to return the favor, my G. If you were to encounter one of them, realize that their help is merely astral and material, and there will always be a price to pay. These beings are not interested in guiding humanity's spirituality or in training them to defend themselves. Their purpose is simple and selfish, and their transmitted energy is low. When they broadcast this energy to humans, it remains in the muscles, causing some kind of pleasant sensations. Do not be fooled by it and become addicted. This energy does not penetrate the nervous system or the subtle meridians, and it won't support any lasting embryonic effect. The devas of crystalline fire have tried to help these beings. The devas of crystalline fire, those are the ones who are higher level. Our brothers and sisters who are at higher levels. They ain't nowhere near hotter. right? They're bringing like true light of the Creator. Listen to this. The devas of crystalline fire have tried to help these beings, right? We see the one, man, Anusahaj, man. Come on, don't do that. Come on, man. Just leave them alone. Come on with us. We'll teach you the truth. You can continue to grow and create. Like all these different examples that we have going through here of the ones who have been raised higher and trying to help these false gods to raise up higher, right? The devas of crystalline fire have tried to help these beings, but they have often rejected these offerings because they lack humility. Oh, sire, who are you? Oh, you come to help me, right? There were, in the holographic past, crystalline devas that sometimes showed them their atomic fire, made them tremble, and named themselves archangels or devas of fire. The devas of vehement blazing flames guided these egocentric beings through areas of space filled with fulminating blue light to help them evolve, and not so many succeeded. Be careful, as these luminiferous beings are the most likely to fall into the gray, and there's this whole long space, like it's a whole portion of a sentence missing, or it could just be the end, and that it's a typo and put nebula at the end. It says, be careful, as these luminiferous beings are the most likely to fall in the gray nebula. Even though not all of them are malevolent, they may confuse and stall your progress. And I'm going to pause right there. Oh, wait, no. Let me read this next sentence. Hold on. Listen. Even though not all of them are malevolent, they may confuse and stall your progress. At the time of death, they will have the ability to embed the egoic personality to the soul and guide it along three-dimensional astral paths that are fascinating at first, but utterly dull at the end, and you will also become their servant or their slave. Reject them, or else your spiritual growth could experience a lag within the sub-universal limbo, right? The most powerful corporal beings seen in the third dimension by prophets, seers, yogis, etc., are fifth-dimensional beings that inhabit the parallel three-dimensional areas of Sirius, Arcturus, and the Pleiades. And then it goes on explaining those just a little bit. But I thought that was enough to be like, OMG. Clearly, it probably flew off the desk because I needed this like right now to connect some of these pieces that we've already been studying. What y'all think about that? Let me go up here. Oh my gosh, we have 43 minutes. Yo, we ain't even got the Celeste letter. Let me go back up. Hold on. But we about to read. We about to open up. We may not get to the field guide to the spirit world, but we going to open up Celeste letter back. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay. Nazarene sing, shalom, shalom. Elijah said, this sounds interesting. People have always had theories on how to activate your brain on 100%. On 100%, yeah, right? Even the movie Lucy, the movie I mentioned the other day too, with Matthew McConaughey. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We're taking a little pill. Limitless, that's what it was called. The brain is fascinating, Dawn. There could be more chakras, at least 14. There's definitely more. There is definitely more, Elijah. He said there could be more chakras, at least 14 in your energy field, which is the electromagnetic field that emanates from those chakras. Matter of fact, I think, remember those little plastic, and I think I took them upstairs. I was just looking at it. Let me see if I got another one down here. Nope, they upstairs on my desk because I was looking through them. Remember those plastic laminated like cheat sheets? It's like a big piece of paper and it's showing you like it's a body sitting up there meditating in lotus position with the chakra colors, and it's naming each level of the chakra and what happens on the physical realm and on the spiritual realm and all of that stuff, and the sounds that activate each one, all that different stuff. Anyway, on those, it down at the bottom, and I think it was Dreadful Cosmine, he responded to one of those posts in the community section yesterday. No, I'm sorry. because you can't put pictures on YouTube. It was Facebook, and he posted a picture, something very, very similar to what's on my chakra chart, where it shows the person standing up, right, and they show well, his didn't have colors through it. I got two different ones. It shows the colors, but it seems like there's this long vortex going through the body with the electromagnetic field going around it, and you can see different levels from the body as it goes out, making this huge aura or force field around the body. And you can kind of, I have a picture just like that, but it's in color, and it's kind of like dotted with numbers and stuff and arrows, and shows you how the energy within each vortex flows, right? How it flows going through here, coming up, and then out and around, and how it expands out. He posted a picture similar to that on Facebook. You can go look at it. If you go up there, just look for the two posts that I did, downloads from the 9. Go to the comment section. You'll see what I'm talking about. But that shows that, and it numbers the chakras like above the crown, right? And it just kind of like goes up. It goes like up into the hundreds, right? I even heard a yogi, what's his name? Sadhguru, did I say his name right? But one of his videos, he talked about that just a little bit. And he was saying that there were like hundreds of them. And I think my chart, it goes up to like 144, I want to say. But yeah, it gets really, really deep, and the energies around about it. It's really interesting. Your aura, which the chakras emanate the colors. I got it on Kindle, Iman said, but I did order the book. Okay. Yes, in a minute. Hold on. Right, Elijah. Remember, hey, chill, y'all. Y'all go through there. Go through there. Give me a few minutes. And y'all, hold on, put that down, because y'all not starving. Y'all not starving. Y'all can wait a little bit. Y'all can wait a little bit. No, you're not. Put it on the counter. Jackson, close my pantry. Nobody did. You're fine. You haven't even drunk anything. So that's how I know you're not starving. Your digestive system has not been even activated yet. Have you drunk some water or something this morning? No? Yeah, no. You're not hungry. Don't play me. Look, okay. You know, when you wake up from sleep, if you don't activate, like you don't take a sip of water, your digestive system doesn't even activate yet. So you ain't hungry for real, right? You literally just open your eyes. Okay. Yeah, Prince. Shalom, brother. This is good. He ordered one. That's right. He showed a screenshot. Oh, y'all gonna love it when you get it. Maybe he received this as a download. Jamil, when you go in here and you read, when you read this, he explains to you how he gets this information. It is literally by download, my G. Literally. Whoever he's in line with, I say the crowd say whoever, right? The spirit team, angels, however you want to term it, right? The Sudden Awakening book, the orange and yellow book with the eye, he explains his meditation time and what began to happen when he, in his meditation, as he learned how to like sun gaze and stuff. But he tells that little story, and after that began to happen, it literally awakened some things in him, and he literally just began to get these downloads, and he began to write out what he was hearing. This is how it's almost like how, like I mentioned the other day, how OIS became, you know? He's literally, and JBN is not the only one that this has happened to, but it's interesting how a lot of these books have made their way into my library without me even realizing until just now how they even get this information. And I don't think that's far-fetched, right? Because with one of my uncles, the uncle that I told you I used to go over his house, him and my aunt, because I was scared to stay in my own apartment. This particular uncle, right? He used to talk about spiritual downloads all the time. And he's one of the wisest men I know, right? Because I could sit and listen. You sit and talk to my uncle. Next thing you know, it's 6 hours later, but don't even seem like 6 hours then passed, right? But literally, as we're sitting there talking, especially if we're talking about spiritual things, and like I'll ask a question, he'll immediately like get a download for most things. And I'm like, how does that even happen? He said, it just happens. He said, I call them downloads. I'm like, downloading from what? Bless you. And this is like my early days. He like, downloaded from the Heavenly Father. Who else? I'm like, oh, okay. I said, so what you had to do to get that? Bless you. And he was just pretty much just, live a pure and holy life, live righteous, I just, because that's, and I know that to be the character of my uncle, right? And so he'll randomly get wisdom. And him and his wife, which is my aunt, they wouldn't call themselves counselors, but I would say they're, bless you, son. Oh, yeah.
I ate like 3 bowls till I was full, 2, 3 this morning. Like, I'm going to eat some of this beans.
Yeah, look. So, but it would just happen, and that would amaze me. And I'm like, this is amazing. He would literally, there were a couple times where I seen there was another husband and wife that was struggling with financial issues and everything, which, sometimes brings strife into the marriage, right? But my uncle and my aunt were good, trusted friends, right? No bias. And they came and talked to him, and they kind of shared it with me and my husband, because we also went to them like early years of marriage, like, look, and it's like, he crazy, I might be a little crazy, and so they would be laughing at us, but the wisdom always helped us. So with this particular couple, they were really struggling financially, but they had a particular gift. I believe it was the wife. I believe it was the wife. But anyway, make a long story short, he got wisdom for them. And when they acted on that wisdom, it literally changed their life. They were able to catch up their bills. They darn near only had one vehicle. And I think that one vehicle was giving them problems. But in a short period of time, I'd say maybe a month's time of actually taking the wisdom that they got from my uncle and my aunt, within a month's time, things started to turn around for them. And now they had 2 vehicles. Their business idea was getting a little bit of traction and stuff. And I think they're doing it like full time now, like in their business. Like, I'm just like, you get stuff like that. And it always intrigued me. I'm like, okay, what type of life? I mean, I always a pretty honest person or whatever. I was like, but that's pretty freaking cool. I said, I wouldn't necessarily say it happens like that for me. I get wisdom in dreams, So I was like, oh, shoot, I do be getting wisdom, even warnings. And when we don't follow the warnings, we find ourselves up the creek without a paddle, boat about to sink. Right? That's how we lost one of our biggest clients early on in our business, right? But yeah, so this was really, really interesting. So yeah, he explains that how it literally downloads from the 9. He explains it a little bit, but I know he goes into detail about how this began to happen to him in the Sudden Understanding book, right? So if you get both books, and they're both on Kindle, and you can get them paperback, right? So yeah, right, Jamil. This is confirmation about what speaks to our spirit on Owaspy, right? Elijah said, wow, this does sound like the information we've been studying from Owaspy. Yep, confirmation. Yep, the tribal gods, right? Nazarene is seen. This book can be read for free on Kindle. Okay, I ain't know that. See, I got Kindle and I got like the subscription and stuff. So some stuff is like already there for me. And some people I was like, look, it's there, but I don't know. But she said you can read it for free. So go to Kindle if you haven't already and read it for free, y'all. Jamil said, once I'm more connected within myself and with the Creator, I hope to have revelations of truth that have not been altered by men. Amen, sis. Which we see happen with the Owaspy and many other books. And you know what? I think this is where your associations really, really play a big part. Yes, I am. And you didn't.
You literally just said, I'm going to use the iPad.
I did, but I haven't started reading from it yet, which is giving it a little bit more time. Oh, I'm 50% charged now because I was on like 2% when I came down here. So in a second, I am. Listen, I'll let you get it when I'm done, boy. Go get out here.
It takes like an hour.
You
listen, 2 hours.
Listen. If you keep on and in that tone of voice, you won't get on it again. Watch yourself. Go on upstairs. Say another word. Say another word. Say another word. Say another word. I wish you would. He just quietly walked up the stairs. He want to blow up. He's just like. Because I ain't playing. Okay. Yeah. So what happens is, that's when your associations, I believe, your associations, the people that you keep company with play a major part. Because if you're walking, let's say, in holiness and purity, and you're doing the best you can to live, a quiet and peaceable life, so to speak, right? But you have people whose motives are not as pure as yours. When you begin to share information with them about some of these things, you can call them sacred jewels, right? Some people, they don't care that they're really jewels. They don't even recognize that they're jewels. They doing the way they may take it and start using it to be physically and monetarily profitable. They want to charge people for it, and a lot of times that's what you see some of these secret societies do. And some people that they come across something that they know works, and then they'll just begin to sell it to people for a profit, and people will buy it, right? But things happen, and these men and women become greedier by the day. They don't really care. They don't really care what's in it for real and the authenticity of it. They just know it works for some people. It's up for grabs, and we're going to jack the price up to $6,800, right? They doing this because they can see a profit happening, and they can recognize trends and stuff. But if they really knew what they had, it would not even be for sale, right? Absolutely not. Nope, this is not for sale. This is not for sale. Right? All right. It jumped. Let me go back up. Yeah, Lucy. Yeah, I mentioned Lucy. Yes, Lucy is amazing. The movie. There are many more, right? There are many more chakras even outside of our physical corporal bodies. Yep. I'll post another picture of it. I gotta go upstairs. I'll do that once we get off. Yep. Selah, Elijah said, Selah be talking about the electromagnetic spectrum. Selah be talking about the electromagnetic spectrum. It's making more sense with what you're reading, sister. Awakening Truth. Okay. Yeah, it is, right? Okay. Let me see. Scroll through here real quick. You get a lot of your downloads on Friday night for years. That's awesome, Zachar, Yahoo, and Shalom, brother. Okay, so if you haven't gotten it, get it, right? And just go through it. Do your own research on it, and see if these things that I'm sharing with you be true in your experience of what you learn, right? Some stuff you may be able to use now. Some stuff maybe later. I don't know, but I think the book is priceless. If you get it, hold on to it, right? Share it with other people, those who are at that level where they can understand. I would say what we're learning in here and in the WASP is like elementary stuff, but because of how we're just now breaking out of religious doctrine and dogma, it seems like college level, right? But all of this is literally, this information we're learning now and recovering, it's really like the basics. It really is. But to us, it's just now waking up. It's like, oh my gosh, what? That's like, man, I hope to reach that point. My G, you come out the womb supposed to be knowing this. Like, right, this is, this literally is like the foundation of being birthed. And it's like, we're so far removed from it. It's just like, we're just trying to catch our bearings and find out what's truth, what's error. Like, we don't even believe that. Is that even possible? Yes, it's possible. Listen, knock on your physical skull. You are a spirit inside this body that you're navigating, right? We're trying to wake you back up so you can drive your car correctly here in this atmosphere. Have y'all seen this movie called Chronicle with Michael B. Jordan? One of his earliest movies. My sister told me about this the other day. She said, girl, you ain't never seen it? I said, no. I didn't even know. I thought Michael B. Jordan just came on the scene like recently, so to speak, right? I did not know when he was a teenager, he did a superhero movie. It's called Chronicle. Y'all gotta go watch it. It's on, I think I watched it on Amazon. But it's about teenagers who touch this rock and they get superpowers, right? it started off real small and tiny to where they realize that they can move things. The energy that's coming from their body and little Legos and stuff is just like, oh my gosh, you know. But throughout the movie, I never heard of it till yesterday. Nazarene is saying, go look it up. It's called Chronicle, like Chronicles of Narnia, just Chronicle, no S, just Chronicle. Matter of fact, type in Chronicle Michael B. Jordan, and it'll pop right up. It's him and two white boys. They're best friends. Well, they became best friends because all three of them got caught and they touched this rock and they started developing powers. But they were laying out some spiritual principles in there while they were conversating with one another that I've learned to be true. When you learn some of this stuff, if you make it a part of your daily practice, the gifts, so to speak, get stronger, and you're able to use them better, and you can control them, right? Just like when you're learning to walk, if you're practicing, you get better. It's the same thing with the spiritual principles. You got to go watch it. Chronicle. Hold on. I'll make sure I post it so y'all don't forget. Chronicle. Must watch. I'm going to say there's a must watch, right? Must watch. Got to go watch it. Okay. Huh? Dawn. I saw your comment. Okay. Yeah, so all right, y'all. So that's it. I didn't ramble on literally for the entire hour about downloads from the 9. But it's Sunday, so we got a little bit more time. So let's go ahead and pull up Celeste's letter. And this gave me some time for this to charge up a little bit. I'm literally at 50% here now. Cause I'm at 56%. So it took down my laptop to 50%. All right, I got the same amount of time on both. Okay, so let me unplug it. I'm gonna unplug that from there for the moment, so I can save some of the juice on the laptop while we're going through this. Okay, so let's go back to Celeste's letter real quick, and we paused on. Hold on, let me stick this back in here. Page 16. And we're still going through the old trunk. Okay, it's opening back up. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm waiting for this to do its things so I can open up the book. Okay. 16. Oh, wait. Oh, no, we started on 16 and we read to page 24. That's right. Okay, yeah, that's right. We're at the tablet of Om and the 9 entities. Okay. What's in there? Donuts. Don't eat them donuts for Pop. I got them donuts for y'all. Right? And you eating one right there. All right. Okay. The tablet, we're in Celeste's letter, the tablet of Om, O-M, and the 9 entities. Those who did the editing did not. Who ate those?
Oh, so I was coming out here last night to get some donuts. You thought these were for Dad?
What? Why would you think I would have got those for Dad, not Krispy Kreme for Dad?
I didn't even eat any. Sorry, I did.
You know what? Leave the empty box right there, and we're gonna see what Dad say when he come down here to get one, and he see the box empty. I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna just sit over here in the corner with my iPad.
Like a normal child.
I told y'all.
It wasn't.
He can't never had nothing because y'all was eating his stuff up.
And Zay did that. I was upstairs most of the time.
Boy, I when I go out to the store, I try and get my husband the stuff that I know he likes. Right? He don't ask for much. He really don't. He don't ask for much. But I gotta hide his little snacks that he do like. We got a whole separate deep freeze. Look, I got another deep freeze out there that I put all the plant-based stuff in. I had to take his little ice cream treats and hide them all the way at the bottom. Hide them all the way at the bottom of the deep freezer. So when he's looking for it, he still got it, right? I can't have nothing else in here at this house. Even if I take the stuff in the room, these little jokers, we're going to have to like really just like keep our door locked. Stay out of our room. This is our bed chambers. Don't come in here. Find his little snack cakes, eating up his snack cakes and stuff. You know, we might just start having to hand out, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to get a trunk with a lock and keep the key on me. I don't know. Let me get back to this. Tablet of Om and the 9 entities. Those who did the editing did not realize that the angels considered the 9 entities important for students to study. I'm wondering, listen, I told you I started this book over. It says important for students to study. You love sneaking your dad's fruitcakes and wine. Listen, I'm still trying to line this up because I started reading it over. So I haven't, we're going to see what she said about the 9 entities in here, but I don't know. It might be the same download from the 9 of this, what we learned about here in Sudden Awakening, right? This is interesting. Look, okay. Those who did the editing did not realize that the angels considered the 9 entities important for students to study. There has never been any real understanding or agreement among students in Guatemala or the Americas as to the meaning of the 9 entities appearing at the beginning of the Book of Being. I wonder why. Because they separated the stuff and we couldn't put the pieces together. In studying the papers from Ong, England, shared by Gwen Walton, we have learned that the Tablet of Om was edited out of Owaspy. A discussion of the Tablet of Om is found in the paper Tablet of Om, the Lost Tablet. Make sure y'all write this down so y'all can look it up. A discussion of the Tablet of Om is found in the paper Tablet of Om, the Lost Tablet, that can be found in the online archives of this site. I'm going to also share it too. In the 1950s, a description of this tablet was given in a trance address in Cosmon Church in England with the discussion of the meaning of some of the symbols. We hope to have artists in Guatemala reproduce the Tablet of Om from its description. The angels who worked with Cosmon Church in Ong, O-N-G, was referenced before early in the paragraph as England. The angels who worked with Cosmon Church in Ong included Tablet of Om, O-M, among tablets students should study deeply. The 9 entities were taken out of the Tablet of Om and inserted into the beginning of the Book of Being. Book of Knowledge is helpful in studying Tablet of Om. It is possible that the Tablet of Om could have been among the plates that were in the old trunk. And that's the end of that section. Now it's going into the Book of Inspiration. Also included in the old trunk were Lance copper printer's plates and printer's proof sheets of the Book of Inspiration, which indicate that the summer solstice is to be celebrated as the new year. There were no editing marks on these proof sheets, and the summer solstice is clearly indicated. That's interesting, right? Today being the Gregorian New Year, it's clearly not the summer solstice. Clearly, we know that. Listen. Let me read that again. Also included in the old trunk were the Lant copper printer's plates and printer's proof sheets of the Book of Inspiration, which indicate that the summer solstice is to be celebrated as the new year. There were no editing marks on these proof sheets, and the summer solstice is clearly indicated. This one change is an issue that has caused emotional discussion over the years, for without the original printer's plates and proof sheets, the stories about how an editor had changed the date or that the angels had made a mistake were the only information available. In remembering the old trunk on that evening in 1951, it seems to me that Ray made a particular point of drawing my attention to this printer's plate and its proof sheet, holding them so I could read the text as it originally appeared, with the summer solstice indicated as the new year. There were no editing marks to change the date, although there were editing notations on other pages. Jim Denon noted that the change in date came in stages. The first change came in material printed for the Faithist Convention in New York City, November 24th to 26, 1883, And then another change in wording later in the editing for the 1891 edition. And now we have the next section, the recalled edition. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, the recalled edition. There is a story that a printing of a waspy made from early plates in 1882 and was then recalled, but no copies have been located as of this date in 2015. Ernie Gardner, a longtime faithist who lived in Southern California, documents this oral tradition in a letter published in Cosmon Community's newsletter, writing that a friend of his owned a copy of this first edition, which Gardner saw in the 1940s. Gardner's friend called this edition the recalled edition. Gardner said that this recalled edition of Owaspy was over 50 pages longer than the 1882 edition published by Ray Palmer. Gardner says in his letter that all those who had purchased this earlier edition of Owaspy were contacted and asked to return their copy to the printer, and they would receive a new revised 1882 edition. I'm sorry, they would receive a revised 1882 first edition. I would have been like, am not. And I'm going to get a copy of this new one you got. Lena Shalom says, Shalom, Happy New Year. Let's see. Gardner says in his letter that all those who had purchased this early edition of Owaspy were contacted and asked to return their copy to the printer, and they would receive a new revised 1882 first edition. Gardner said that his friend kept that first recalled edition because it would become valuable in the future. If this story is true, the date of the new year was not changed when the revised 1882 edition was printed. Gardner went on to say that the revised 1882 edition is the one we have today. The date of the new year was consistent in the first printer's plates, the proof sheets from those plates, the 1882 early edition, and the revised 1882 edition. That's a big deal, right? Because now, Shayla, hey girl, hey. I understand the new year. Now, I've seen discussions. I didn't argue with them, right? And they say that the new year begins at the summer solstice or whatever. I was like, I don't know that I agree with that fully. I get what you're saying, but I'm still thinking it's the springtime, right? Because I'm thinking in the aspect of things being born, and then they grow and how they begin to wither away, right? So to me, it makes sense that the new year begins in the spring with the early fresh buds of plants and flowers, the birds coming out singing, animals coming out from hibernation, all of these things, right? The infants coming out, things are young, and then they grow, they become stronger, and then as they get older, they wither away, which would indicate the winter months of life. That's my thinking, right? I could be wrong. I don't have all the information. That's why we're researching, but I have come across people who says that it actually begins, the new year begins towards the summertime, towards summer solstice. I'm like, I don't know. Could be not. Right now, I'm sticking with the spring and what I know and how I'm understanding things at my level. It could change. I don't know. We're going to see, right? I don't know. Let's see. The date of the new year was consistent in the first printer's plates, the proof sheets from those plates, the 1882 early edition, and the revised 1882 edition. And thinking about those more than 50 pages and what they might have contained, Book of Knowledge and the Tablet of Om seem to be likely possibilities, as well as Book of Japheth. There is also Book of Discipline. However, letters at the time indicate Newbro thought the Book of Discipline should be published later, so it is unlikely that the Book of Discipline was included in the more than 50 pages of the recalled edition. Book of Discipline was, hey, boy, chill. Take that through there. Take that through there and play. All of them. That and a plane too. Take it all through there. There is also Book of Discipline. However, letters at the time indicate Newbro thought Book of Discipline should be published later. So it is unlikely that Book of Discipline was included in the more than 50 pages of the recalled edition. Book of Discipline was not in the 1882 revised edition, but was included in the 1891 edition. When Ray Palmer reprinted the 1882 revised edition, he included Book of Discipline. All right, the next little section is Ornathan and Levitica. There is a document in the undated letters from Gustav Percival Wixell Percy that Ornathan and Levitica were both given through Newbro at Shalom. Hey, why y'all? Hey.
Okay, I been knew that.
Okay, take the conversation through there. No, you can't. You can find one of these tables to get at and eat it. Don't take that food up my stairs. Hold on. There is documentation in undated letters from Gustav Percival Wixell Percy that Ornathan and Levitica were both given through Newbro at Shalom. Therefore, they were not part of the original transcription. These letters can be found in the archives at New Mexico Historical Society in Las Cruces. However, these documents were included in the old trunk. Levitica was published after the first group of Faithists who helped found Shalom were evicted by Howland in March 1886. Ornathan was published by the Essenes of Cosmon in the early 1950s. Concluding thoughts. In December 1951, when the Essenes showed me the contents of the old trunk, I was asked to swear on the Creator's altar in that room that I would not reveal the secret of this old trunk. The reason it was to be kept secret was that in 1934, Wing Anderson had purchased the copyright and printer's plates for the 1891 edition of Owaspy, which became the 1910 edition from Joan Newbro Howland Williams, Justine, and Anderson was printing many copies from those plates. Anderson did not want it known that there was a version closer to the original transcription given by the angels, for he feared that the edition he was printing would not be sold. This old, let me not call them no names, but you see how selfish that is, right? And clearly, his heart was not in the right place. All he thinking about is that almighty dollar. He just worried about his copies being sold, right? I'm just like, when I read this, I'm just like, how selfish of you, right? Taking information that could literally change the world, and all you worried about is your pocket and your little piece that may not be sold and pushed to the back burner. Tikva, hey girl, hey. This is crazy. Selah, shalom, brother. Listen, Selah. I don't know how long you've been here, bro, but yesterday it was an active spirit in the building. I shared a little bit about that at the beginning. Like, we literally spent the whole first hour of this video talking about that. Literally, we literally just started this letter. But I think you'll find that hilarious because the book flew off my desk like day before yesterday. Yeah, you got to go back to the beginning. Okay, look. Let me go back. Anderson did not want it known that there was a version closer to the original transcription given by the angels, for he feared that the edition he was printing would not be sold. I seldom thought about the old trunk and my vow, although I told my family about the old trunk, swearing them to secrecy. In 1960, Ray Palmer, after searching for 25 years, found a copy of the 1882 edition of Owaspy and reprinted it. Hey, babe.
Like you want some smoke for? You want some smoke this morning?
Mm-mm.
What's wrong?
Why do you pick up that box of donuts?
think that box is gone. They ate that box before they even ate mine. I should have took mine upstairs. See?
Oh, so you saw I was gone?
I seen it last night, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was talking, look, I didn't have the whole thing. I done bought this box of donuts for him.
You did. You bought a whole box, and that's what they ate first. I know I should have took it. I should have took it and hid it. Yeah. It's cool. We gotta go out today anyways.
That went a lot smoother than what I thought. Well, I said, I'm just going to sit over in the corner when you come down here looking for these donuts.
Nah, I don't trip on that, man.
Look. Jamil said, you look scared. No, I knew he was going to snap out. Man, I can't never had nothing.
But is that
Y'all
not
was,
true?
yeah,
Is that
that's
not
what I
true?
said. I said, y'all always eating up your daddy's stuff. I got to hide his snacks. I had to whisper when I told him about the, hold on, it's a child here. I had to whisper when I was talking about the hiding place of some of your other snacks. Josh got on headphones, the ice cream that I hid in the...
Oh, yeah, show you right. Yeah, man. They
Show you right.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, you know,
Look.
they kids, they eat anything.
BC.
They eat anything. What you talking about?
Read the comment.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So, you know, we got to be up out of it. I want to be up out about like 9:30.
That's I'm about to say, it's 8:58.
9:30, but I mean, Jared opens at 10.
Okay.
And then we got to swing back from Newport News to Norfolk, so.
Okay. All right. Yeah, kids find snacks. No such thing as hiding snacks when kids are around. Gloria, listen, I'm telling you, look.
We've been dealing with kids our whole life.
Our whole life. Like, we look forward to the empty nesters days.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, boy, we're gonna travel, and we're gonna travel to all our kids' houses, and we hope they have multiple children like we did, right? And we just gonna go in there. Y'all seen these videos they make with parents going there. They come to visit their kids and leave their refrigerator open, take the shoes off at the door, drop. We're gonna do that to our kids.
Putting Legos all on their floor, jacks and balls,
Dropping balls down the sink, flushing cars down the toilet. Had to call a plumber.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
I'm gonna give them number sugar, and I'm like, time to go. I'm gonna give them sugar at 9:30 at night.
And we flying out, and we going to we going to Barbados.
Yeah.
We going to Bora Bora.
Cut our phone off. Don't call me.
Off. Don't call us. Check in. We're going to leave a point of contact. You call them first. Let them call us. We'll call you.
What kind of cereal you ate?
Cinnamon Crunch.
Okay.
Ooh, cinnamon toast
Hold
crunch?
on.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Hold on.
When you playing that cereal, man. What was that, Deuce?
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I found my spot. Okay. We're gonna have to pause. Hold on, let me see what it is. Okay, so it's a line on the next page. We'll pause right there, right before we start. The Owaski timeline is a source of historical documents. We'll pause right there. So we got to get out of here.
Yeah,
okay.
Do with you.
I'm live. Like you can.
Yeah, they butt smack too. What you talking about? They act like they butt smack. What you talking about? Brand new. Like, come on. Some people probably wish they get their butt smacked.
Listen.
Somebody will smack this wrinkly thing, you know? I mean, this thing want to be smacked.
Okay.
Ain't that right?
Look, Dawn was like, here we go, Dr. Ruth.
Okay.
Listen.
They want to be smacked. You know what?
I seldom thought about the old trunk and my vow, although I told my family about the old trunk, swearing them to secrecy. In 1960, Ray Palmer, after searching for 25 years, found a copy of the 1882 edition of Owaski and reprinted it. Then, in the following years, as numerous editions of Owaski began popping up, I realized I no longer felt bound by this vow. It was at this time that I wrote the original article, The Old Trunk, which was published in Cosmine Voice and Cosmine Unity in 1989. It is hard to comprehend why any editing was done to Owaski, but considering its length, perhaps shortening it made it cheaper to print and thus the selling price was less to the public. Anderson shared with Jim Denon some of the lamp proof sheets, and Jim reprinted a few of the original pages that were edited out. You know what? If I had something, I would let people know.
Wait, I get something in there, dude.
I'm not going to take any of this away. I'm going to give it to you all like it was given to me. Now, I'm going to let you know that it's going to be a little bit pricey because the printer has to print all these pages, which makes the selling price a little bit higher. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. I don't think some people would have talked garbage about it. Some people well, I ain't getting it. You let me know what's in it. But I think the people who I don't even think they had to do that. They could have just put it out at the price. Because people who want things, they'll find a way to get what they want. Even if it's currently out of their price range. They're going to do what they need to do to get that, right? Right, that's the truth. So I think that was just an excuse to hide stuff that they wanted to hoard to themselves and benefit off of it before the masses ever caught wind of it. That's my thoughts about that. It is hard to comprehend why any editing was done to a WASP, but considering its length, perhaps shortening it made it cheaper to print, and thus the selling price was less to the public. Anderson shared with Jim Denon some of the lamp proof sheets, and Jim reprinted a few of the original pages that were edited out. The pages he reproduced in his book, More of a WASP, include text using many words in the language of Pan. Right, I remember reading that. They said that. The pages he reproduced in his book, More of a WASP, include text using many words in the language of Pan. It seems sad that the location of this document is known only to those who took the old trunk from Shuey. Today, we have little physical documentation of the editing. In 1990, Jim Denon, in his article, Origin and History of a WASP, published in Cosmon Voice 111, felt that because I had seen the contents of the old trunk, this was documentation of the editing done to a WASP, verifying and explaining changes he notes in his writing on the editing and the source of the pages he reprinted. There is also the documentation, which is obvious in the 1882 revised edition with its references to material not in that edition, and the editor's note commenting on the editing, including changing the word "tay" to "man," "tay" T-A-E to "man." Because the Tablet of Om was given to Faithists in England in the early 1950s, the Essenes of Cosmon printed Book of Knowledge with the discussion of the 9 entities around the same time. We know that anything that was edited out that we need in our ongoing studies will be given to us when we are ready to understand it, right? And don't quote me, I'm not 100% sure. I almost want to say some of the editing out has found its way into this book. Based on what we read in here and some of the OWASP language that I find in here, and this, I don't know. It's on the table, y'all. It's on the table. Listen, I'm going to read this again. This was good. Because the Tablet of Om was given to Faithists in England in the early 1950s, and the Essenes of Cosmon printed Book of Knowledge with the discussion of the 9 entities around the same time, we know that anything that was edited out that we need in our ongoing studies will be given to us when we are ready to understand it. The recalled edition needs to be remembered. Faithists should continue looking for this edition as well as remembering the old trunk with documentation of the editing. Perhaps the old trunk still exists, and its precious contents may yet become available to help us understand the editing. Arnold Aries of California saw copies of this recalled edition in 2 different University of California libraries. Both copies contain Book of Zimmers, an easy way to verify the identity of the recalled edition. This knowledge given to me in 1951 is now passed on to you. Remember these things and pass this information on to the next generation. So thank you, Joan, for that. Those were Joan's own words. She said all this information she is sharing with us, what they've so graciously reshared with us the other day and said we could read it aloud, they want us to share it. and to pass it along, right? Because somebody might have a piece of the puzzle that they're not connecting yet that we're looking for. So that's why if you don't have a copy of it, email me and I will send you a copy of this, right? And just put Celeste letter or the old trunk in the subject, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And so this is just like the end of this. The Owaspie timeline is the source of historical dates and has an asterisk. This property was donated by Sister Cora Bennett and had been her home. Original article published in Cosmon Voice 108 July to August 1989. Gautama Irma Lee, editor, and Cosmon Unity, December 1989. Ong Archie Frost, editor. Remember, Ong is England. Gautama is the Americas, right? All right. So that's where we'll pause at on page 28. And we'll pick this back up when we come here tomorrow. So that was good. And listen, I didn't even realize before we open this back up, when I started telling y'all about the active spirit in the building here, day before yesterday, and what I was sharing with y'all, how that sort of kind of connects to when it started talking about the tablet of Om and the 9 entities. I wonder if these 9 entities, like I said, I'm still looking into it. I wonder if the 9 entities that it's talking about here is referring to the same group of downloads from the 9 that downloaded this information to this particular guy that he has spread out in all of his books, right? Sharing principles and stuff, and is using Owaspie terms, y'all. Nebula, vortex, like all of these things. Let's talk about the false gods. I'm like, yo, that's why I'm like, y'all got to go back and watch the beginning of this video today. This is blowing my mind the last couple days with all this stuff. Okay. Yes, Tigger. Yeah, people pay for what they want. It was a trifling thing to do, Don, wasn't it? They ain't had no right to do that. He had that Simon Magnus syndrome. Yeah, right. I know. Right, Selah. They in the group. They shared this article. Selah shared this article, talking about Owaspie, and it was saying, if we was reading it correctly, the original manuscript of Owaspie, what was originally done, was a little over 4,000 pages. What we got? This is only like 1,000 pages. Imagine 4 of these. Imagine, hold on. I'm about to show y'all something. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my other one upstairs. Josh, do me a favor. Oh, hold on. I want to just show y'all something. Don't go nowhere. Hold on, let me show y'all something. Josh, do me a favor. Under my desk, give me them 2 big ones. Them 2 big white ones. Bring it back. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to show y'all something. I want y'all to have like a visual of what this is.
Mom.
Yeah.
Someone just opened your video.
Hold on. Let me just give y'all a real-time visual. Hold on. Hold up. Move that one. Okay. Okay. So remember, hold on. Move this. Watch out. So remember the Holy Megillah. I told you it's about the same. Watch out. It's the same thickness and width, if just a little bit different, right? From Owaspie, right? But I think it's a good comparison, right? Okay. So this is Owaspie. This is just like a little over 1,000 pages, right? Yeah, 962 pages in Big Blue, right? So you got this, Josh. Imagine the original overshadowing being a little over 4,000 pages. Look, I got 2 Holy Megillahs. I got the first one that they released and the new one that just came in the mail with the extra 200 pages that's been translated. I ain't even got to them yet, but do me a favor, Josh. Take that blue one. Stack it on top of this one. Listen, the original overshot, stack it on top of the one I got in my hand. It's about 2,000 pages, right? Stack that Megillah up here. That's about 2,000. That's about 3,000 pages. Put that other one up there. This is what they're saying the original overshadowing consisted of. A little over 4,000 pages. Imagine this. This jank is about to break my arm. Take that down. These things are heavy, right? Imagine that. So if they wanted to do that because of printing or whatever, they could have. But what they would have needed to do was break it up into possibly volumes, right? They still put out the entire OWASP as it was given, all 4,000 pages, but just break it up. Volume 1, this is books such and such through such and such. Then you have book 2, which is a continuation of volume 1. Such and such chapters through such and such chapters of books or whatever. And all the way to volume 4. That's what should have originally happened, right? And it took us 6 months to read through just the 1,000 pages every day with the exception of the Sabbath. It took us 6 months. So if we had the original, it would take us 2 years to read through the entire book. If we kept it in the fashion of what we were doing, right, we'd still be reading it. Imagine that, 2 years to read through a document. And it took him how long? Like 52 weeks? 52 weeks to type it out. He wasn't reading. So that seems about right. Typing, he's literally just typing download. He ain't reading, he's just typing it out, right? It would take us a little bit longer to read through. If it took him a year, a little over a year to type it out, it would definitely take us almost 2 years to read through it, to make sure our comprehension is on point. We're keeping everything in line, and just keeping everything in its proper context. Imagine that, y'all. Watch out, Josh. Imagine that. This is what we're looking for. We literally got a stack of stuff that's spread all throughout the world, that bits and pieces, we finding bits and pieces here in other little books, all under different names. The Romance of the Red Star. It's another name of one that was mentioned. Like all of the pieces of this original document just broken up and all over the world. It's mind-blowing to me. All right, y'all. So that's it for today. Yes, you can. Y'all, it is Sunday, the first day of the Gregorian New Year, January the 1st, 2023. Did I say 2022 earlier?
Yeah.
No, did I? I don't remember. If I did, forgive me. I think I said 2023. I don't know. I'm going to have to see, because I'm going to go watch my foolishness at the beginning of this video again. It is January the 1st, 2023, year 4, day 303 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And today we read this little section from downloads from the 9, which corresponds with a lot of what we're reading on WASP. That's why I had to read it to y'all, to show y'all what in the world was in here. And then we read a little bit more of this letter that Celeste, Joan, Leslie, and Peter put together for us. All right, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed it today. Remember, share it. They want us to share this stuff and what they did. Even the document, if you don't know if you can share that, share it. If you're talking to somebody and you want to share it, share it. Feel free. Joan said at the end of this letter, she wants it to be passed on. So, all right, y'all. So I'm going to share. Hold on. Wait. In here, I'm gonna share shortly. I'm gonna share the movie Chronicle. Y'all gotta go watch that when y'all get a chance, with Michael B. Jordan and the superpowers and stuff that they gained as they was developing, right? And there's also going to show. Listen, when y'all start, hey, stop. When y'all start developing in y'all, I just say as y'all start developing spiritually, do what's right with the stuff you learn with your body. Don't go out there being a vagabond in the streets. That you're gonna kind of see this what happened to one of the guys in there that started getting these superpowers and learning how to do things. He actually began to be stronger. He began to be stronger a whole lot faster than the other two. They say, "Hey, Bella, look, they fighting over this." They're fighting over Bella and Jace. These are the two. And look, early in the beginning, when I was telling y'all, it's an active spirit in the building, that they was running around in their room, in Bella's room, when this particular thing happened, all the way at the other end of the house. There's no way, even with them jumping around, would have caused my book to fly off the middle of my desk, right? Just go back, listen, go back to the beginning of this and watch it. But anyway, I'm going to share the preview of Chronicle, watch it, and also what they shared in the old trunk letter about the tablet of Om and this letter, this document that they want us to read about that and the 9 entities. So I'm going to share that. All right, y'all. With that being said, I love y'all. And I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning. Zell's answer. Look, he needs to do something about the face over here. You gotta wash your face. All right. With that being said, I love y'all. And thank you, Don. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.